We are a world in winter. It happens every 80 years or so. Started in 2005. It's going to go till approximately 2029. All right, we have 3 more years of this craziness, and we are a world in winter. And what happens in winter is we recalibrate. You know, we all live somewhere around here or know somebody who does. What happens in the winter? All the leaves fall off the trees. You know, it seems like it's never going to end, and you're starting to get depressed. All of a sudden, the leaves pop out and the flowers come out, and we're like, huh, we can live again. All right. Well, in winter started in 2005, and there are a couple of hallmarks of winter. One is that we have a world conflict. Now, I don't know if that was the pandemic. I don't know if that's countries, whirling bombs at each other. But every 80 years for the last 500 years, there's been a world conflict. We're in one now. It should come to an end soon. And in the next 3 years, we will exit winter. It's happened every 80 years without fail for the last 500 years. We get into these cycles very predictably. We go through them predictably. We come out of them predictably. Here's the challenge for most of you. You were not born in winter. You were trained and nurtured during spring and summer and autumn when things were nicey nice and we were all in love back then. We're not in love now. We don't seem to be, right? So we have to fall in love again. We have to fall in love again with our own businesses. We have to fall in love again with our employees or our team. We have to fall in love again with our clients. I'm going to talk to you about why that's so important. But in winter, there are a number of things that you might remember. You remember the mortgage meltdown of 2008. You remember cash for clunkers, when they gave you money to turn in your car, and then cash for caulking, if you caulked your windows. They've been throwing money at us for the last 15 years to try to get us through this time. That's why it's prolonged it, and that's why we're going to go to 2029. But what happened when the pandemic hit was that consumer preferences changed, and they changed forever. So if you thought this contactless, bring it to the curbside, cancel culture is going away because the pandemic and some of the other craziness is over. No, it's not. It's just accelerated it. It's here to stay, right? And we can't wish it away. We do have to deal with it. And so what I have found as I work with CEOs and with companies is that over time, your business has gone from very committed to its clientele to what's convenient for you. And convenience is going to kill you in this time. All right? Now, what I mean by that is, how many of you are in business more than 3 years? 5 years? 10 years? 15? I'm on 42. I started in 1985. This is my 42nd year. 20 years, 20 plus? Okay, right on. So a lot of you, right? Now, how many of you are a business owner, period? Okay, most of the room. That means to even be in business, you are 1 in 15 people. You have to walk into a room of 30 people to even find a peer. If your business does $1 million or more, you are 1 in 600 people, which means you have to find a room of 1,200 people to find a peer. And if your business does more than $10 million, you are 1 in 6,000 people. So you want to find a peer, you have to do what Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce did, and you have to rent out Madison Square Garden, put 12,000 people in it to find a peer, somebody who knows what you're going through. Okay? Now you're in this room, but if you're not committed, you're not staying in this room. I've coached all of you over the last 36 years, and I can tell you what happens. What takes you out as a business is over time, in the beginning when you start out in business, what you do is you agree, I'm going to give you that, you're going to give me this. Awesome. High five, fist bump, and that's it. And then you get screwed. You delivered your part, they didn't deliver your part. Well, we need an agreement. Yeah. No more of this handshake deal. I guess that part's over, so you have a handshake agreement. Right? And then, so you get an agreement, no more handshakes, you get a written agreement, and then you still get screwed. And now you got a lawyer that you paid to tell you just got screwed. Why? Because your agreement stinks and it didn't have this blah, blah, blah provision. So now you're I needed a better agreement. All right? And so now your agreement reads like this. I can almost read word for word your service level agreements with your clients. It starts out and it says, hi, I'm the provider and you suck. You're going to screw me, so I'm going to make you do this, 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 and this, and you're going to pay me to do that, and if I have to chase you, you're going to pay me to do that too, and I really don't want to do business with you, but if you could jump off through all of those hurdles, maybe, just maybe, I'll send you my product on Amazon, or something to that effect. Is that about right? Did I read your agreements properly? Right? Yeah, of course, that's what it looks like, because it's the jaded, bitter, I've been screwed over agreement. Okay? You are now doing what's convenient to you. Congratulations. You're like that duck on the pond that's just like, oh, there's nobody around. It's so quiet. That's right, because everyone else sees the sniper and you don't. And you're about to get it. In our business, we help our clients buy companies all the time. I love buying businesses where the owner's been convenient for a while because the profit's not there and the team's not aligned and there's a number of challenges. Okay? You need to fall in love again with your team, your clients, and your own business. My own business, Carl, I love my business. You don't love all parts of it. There's parts of your business that you can't stay in. There's parts of business that you don't like to spend time in. You cannot grow the part of your business that you have a disdain for. Okay? One of the challenges that you guys are trying to do is you're trying to be inclusive. Everybody's my customer. No, they're not. No, they're not. Yes, but I'm an inclusive person. That's cool. You can be an inclusive person, but you don't have to be an inclusive business. Right? My wife and I, at one point, owned a Curves gym. You guys remember Curves gyms? Curves was for whom? Women. Women. Who is it not for? Men. Did you hear the uprising by the men saying, I can't get into that gym? No. Curves said, it's for women. Everyone's welcome, but we designed it for women, and it worked just fine. And it was the leader. It essentially invented the circuit training that almost everyone has modeled to this point. Here are a couple of examples of some companies that tried to be convenient. Remember Bud Light? Remember what Bud Light tried? Bud Light got it so bad that they had celebrities like Kid Rock shooting down 6-packs of Bud Light. They were so mad at the brand, because they tried to be inclusive for everybody. Don't try to be inclusive for everybody. I thought what Tim Cook from Apple said was brilliant. A journalist tried to corner him in a press conference, and his answer was brilliant. And they said, Tim, doesn't it bother you that so many people can't buy Apple products and that you're shutting out a whole part of the market? And everyone's looking around like, ooh, that was a good one, right? And Tim was like, yeah, it does bother us actually that a certain percentage of the market can't buy our products. And he knew the exact number. And he said, but we will not compromise our quality. And because of that, our price can only come down so low. So we know that we are saying no to part of the market, and as much as that hurts us, having poor quality would be worse. And he just shut up the room. And he said, you're darn right. You want our product? Pay for it. You want our product? Save your money and you pay more. But you are going to pay more for us, and I'm sorry, but we're going to say no to part of the market. My question to you is, who are you saying no to in your business? Your business is not about who you say yes to. Your business is who do you say no to? Who will you not take as a client? Right? And I remember when I was doing I was on an iHeart radio show with a buddy of mine a few years ago. And after the Grammys, there was a rapper who had a party afterwards. And the big news was Paul McCartney was not allowed in. And my partner was like, oh, I can't believe that guy's so stupid. You should have Paul McCartney at your show. I'm like, well, you nuts? What is everyone on the planet talking about today? Some dude kicked Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney wasn't good enough for my party. And everyone in the world heard about it. I'm like, oh my God, that was freaking brilliant. 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 You kick him out, right? So anyway, so companies that I see that are committed, these are few, and I want you to be that too. Southwest Airlines has a very famous story where somebody was offended by the funny way that they do the safety briefings on the planes, and they wrote in and they said, well, you need to change that because this is really serious stuff, and when I get on a plane, I want to know that I'm safe. And the legendary answer was, I'm so sorry, ma'am, but we do things a certain way and we support our employees. We'll miss you. So that's the nicest FU I've heard in a while. Now, if we said that in New Jersey, it would have come out totally different. I don't know where they wrote that from, but that was really nice, but it definitely was not from around here. So who you say no to, right? So Domino's Pizza did the same thing. You know, they said, you want it in 30 minutes? We're going to get it to you in 30 minutes. Right? Now, you guys remember when that started, they had to stop that because some people were around the corner like, and then like, haha, 31, you owe it to me for free. So at some point they had to stop it, but they were fully committed. So take a moment, whether you write it down, whether you think about it. What's the one thing you used to do for your clients and your customers that you don't do anymore because it's a pain in your ass? Because they're a pain in your ass. But you know they like it. And if you would do it, they would really like you for doing it. You got to go back to that thing, whatever that thing is. Okay, what's that service that you provide? What's that thing, that little extra that you used to do? You remember those days, you gave them your cell phone for the weekends, but now you have the burner phone so that no one can reach you on the weekends. Whatever it is, whatever that is, you have to fall back in love with your customers, because I can tell you right now, if you don't, guess who's coming after your customer? Everyone else. And guess what they're going to offer them? What you're not willing to offer them. Okay, so the big thing in your marketplace is that. Okay, so now, everybody okay with that concept? Yep. Thinking about falling in love again? So some of you are not thinking of falling in love again. Like, no, I had my run, that's it, we're done. We gave it a run. Okay, all right, so think about that. When we work with a company and we say, okay, how can we differentiate ourselves? We look at how you all got lazy. I'm like, we're going right in there. We have a little methodology we call the obnoxious offer. And we call it that because we say, make the offer no one else in your niche has the guts to make. Everyone knows what the problems are in your niche, whatever your niche is. But who has the guts to take them on? The company that does that wins. And they win every time. Okay. So they didn't give me a timer. They said, keep going, lunch isn't here yet. 45 more minutes? 45, okay. I could do 45. You guys want 45 more? All right, right on. But no, guys, I'll get them out in 2. How about 2? 2? All right, we'll do 2 minutes. Okay, 45 or 2, whichever, yeah. So you need to do that. It's really important, because more and more, as customers get more and more educated, they are more passionate about what you do. They're more passionate about what you do. Now, think of your client list. How many clients do you have? 10, 20, 1,000, 10,000, whatever that is. 20% of that list will buy whatever your premium offering is. So if you fall in love again, if you commit to them totally, and you give them that thing that you know that they want, that you pulled back on a while ago because it's convenient to you, 20% will not only want you to do it, they'll pay the premium for it. 20% of that group, or 4% of your list, so if you have 100 people, 20 will buy this upgrade that I just told you about, right out of the gate. Of that 20% of them, or 4% of your list, will buy just about anything you sell, so they can brag that they are your best customer. Okay, think about that for a minute, all right? Do you have a musical performer that you like to go see? Or a sports team, or an event, or a certain play that you like to go see? Think about the things that you love. Do you get the worst seats in the house when you go, or do you get good seats? Good seats. You get good seats. Why? So I was a cool dad for like 9 seconds in a row. It was a while ago. Go back in the Wayback Machine. But I bought my daughter to see Hannah Montana with the Jonas Brothers opening up. You know it. So there we are buying tickets. And they're like, where do you want to sit? I'm like, get me in the building. I don't give a crap where we sit. And they barely got me in the building. And I remember being at the end, and who was there with me? All the other moms and dads that didn't want to be there. And then all the girls were up front screaming and yelling at the Jonas Brothers and Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus. Right? And we were just like, all right, it's just like 45 more minutes of this. Do we know the set list? How quick? All right, I'll do the next beer run. Right? That's what it was like. Right? But I'm a big fan of Paul McCartney and U2 and all that. And I just saw Robert Plant, who is the lead singer of Led Zeppelin. He was in New Jersey recently. Yeah, I was third row. Like, you couldn't get me close enough. Like, can I get on the stage? Right? We will overpay for the things we're passionate about. You have clientele that are passionate about you beyond the utility of your product and service, but you haven't created a path for them to get there. You need to give them that ultra premium, we call it obnoxious path, to pay the premium for all the things that they want to experience with you so they can brag about being your best customer. You got it? Okay. All right. Now, oh, there it was. Thank you. Okay. Right. 43 more minutes. Good. Okay. All right. Now, so here's what we need to do. Think about this. My graphics are very complicated. Think of it in your mind or put it on a sheet of paper. Draw a line. Above that line are your metrics, your non-negotiables, and you do not go below that line. I love Southwest Airlines because every year they put on their line, they put all the markets they're making money in. And they're like, congratulations, Chicago. We'll see you next year. And then all the ones that are below the line, they're like, hey, Austin, Newark, Islip, you better get going. Look to the left, look to the right. One of you might not be here next year. They say that every year. And they're like, if we don't meet if you're not above the line, you're not part of the company. You're not part of the team. Sorry. Remember, who you say no to will protect the people you're saying yes to. Your core clients don't want the other jerky clients that you have right now. They don't want them anyway. And they will pay more for your products and services in order for you to protect the downside of your business. Okay, so for the sake of the recording, I'll be here during lunch if you guys have any questions. But you've heard about start with why. You need to have a really good why in your business. Okay, Simon Sinek wrote that book. Right now is all about the how. You will win in business on the how, and I'll leave you with this. You say, well, it's important to me the kind of businesses I do business with. Bullshit, it is. You could give a crap. When was the last time you checked the credentials of the Uber driver who picked you up? You go to the website and check the core values before you got in? Yeah, right. Well, what were we told as kids? Don't talk to strangers, don't get in a car with somebody you don't know, and don't believe anything that you hear on the internet. What is the Uber model based on? Talking to a stranger, getting into a car with someone you don't know, and believing what you hear on the internet. And you all sleep in the back seat. So how long is the flight? How long is the drive? I don't know. I slept the whole time. You don't know who's driving the car, right? But they are winning on the how in a big way. AI. You know, AI is just, all AI is an algorithm that predicts what the next word in the sentence is. You know that, right? At the end of the day, that's all AI is, at its fundamental. But how they get there is what we're all going crazy over. You win today on the how.